Up here. I'm gonna do video number 4 on this. I think it's 4 of them. 43-year-old bike I picked up for fairly cheap. We fixed the rattles in it, fixed the forks in it, fixed the clutch in it, took off some nasty luggage. And this one, we're finally gonna get those carburetors working right. I hope. I watch a channel called Brick House Builds, a guy named BJ, and he recommends this carb kit because it's so well put together with quality, kind of like original Japanese parts. Comes with all your screws, special tool to remove the pilot jets, and they are called kmcarburetor.com vintage motorcycle restoration parts. I bought the kit because it seemed like it was a quality kit. We'll find out here in a minute when we rebuild these carbs. Okay, if you watched any of the other videos, you've already seen me taking the tank and the seat and all that off, so I don't need to do that again. Or if you've ever worked on a bike at all. So, had to get in here and get the cables loose. Clamps up here, clamps off here. All that kind of stuff. And from watching Brick House, it is a kind of a pain in the butt to get to all of this down in here. So I will just get these out and on the bench. Okay, because these are a struggle and these rubbers are really old and hard and in not very good shape, I chose to just take this whole thing out, so hopefully that'll move forward easier than trying to fight them out of there like I have on many dirt bikes. Okay, that seems like the easy way. Once those two are out of the way, this whole thing will come out and then we can disconnect cables from here. I'm already noticing a problem, and I can see it in camera. This one is higher than this one. That's out of sync. So maybe part of my problem. We'll investigate deeper in a minute. Okay, I got them on the bench. Start tearing them apart. And if you want to know how to do it right, just watch Brick House Builds, because JB's way better at this. But another really nice feature about this kit, Japanese industrial standard screwdriver. These things don't take regular screwdrivers. But the kit actually comes with the proper fitting screwdrivers. Good stuff. Okay, I was fighting with this. It is called a air cut valve. I don't know what it does, but that was stuck like crazy in there. Everything is really disgusting, and it turns out that my carburetor, the jet unscrews, so I don't need the special wherever I put it, pilot jet extractor thing. Yeah, must be for a different year, because mine unscrewed. So I'm gonna clean all this mess, and yeah, nasty. I'm sure that's part of the reason for the problem, is that it's just full of gunk. Hopefully it works better. Something kind of interesting I just found. This choke plate is bent. This choke plate is not bent. I've also been finding like black silicone inside the carburetors. You can see on this one right here. Well, I don't know where that diaphragm went, but somebody siliconed the fuel pump thing. I can't remember what they're called. Accelerator pump. They siliconed it back on. I bet these are going to run excellent when I get done. Okay, we got that out. A little bit of tap, tap, taparoo. And our choke plate's flat again. Okay, I've been gently prying. I finally got that off of there, but that is some hack job crap right there. To just try and black silicone an accelerator pump back together. There's black silicone all in these carbs. That's why I'm not recording much, because I'm very frustrated. Okay, I got that pried out of there. Those are, fuel goes in from the bowl, fuel goes out right there through the crossover tube to the accelerator pump jets. They put so much silicone in there that they clogged the jet holes. Some people shouldn't be allowed to play with motorcycles. I've never seen anything like this before. Why would anyone? My video, all it would be is just me cleaning if I actually had it playing. I just have to show you little bits I keep finding because I'm literally just cleaning silicone out of everything. Okay, people. I'm a little less irritated now, but all of these parts have been replaced. Oh, not those. All those are empty bags. These are the remaining O-rings for this. Yes, I have a bunch of screws, but most of the screws weren't messed up. So I only put in new screws where the screws were damaged. Because I can use those on lots of other projects too. It's just standard Japanese motorcycle screws, so I figure I might as well keep them. And some of these are still for putting like these brackets back on and stuff, but I'll probably still use the originals because there's nothing wrong with them. I did find some goofiness inside here. See, right there. That's somebody's homegrown hook it, grab the choke stuff. I don't know if anybody watched my first video getting this bike running, that when I choked it to start it, only one spark plug was wet. Well, it's because these two chokes weren't linked together because of their goofy little spring loaded, yeah. And this is very difficult to stick back together. But essentially, both of these tubes have to line up at the same time. That spring has to get hooked onto there. And then there's another spot where these two washers have to be separated in order to grab a hold of the other throttle blade at the same time, so they're synchronized together. And there's a spring that goes right here and right there that all goes together at the same time, and I'm going to be frustrated, so I'm just going to do that. I think I'm winning. That had the hook behind it. Yeah, there's just all kinds of stuff all at the same time. And then while it's all holding together with all these different springs and such, there's the two brackets that have to go on. Yeah, see, that spring is inside there. Ah, fudge. I missed a part. See how I have screws, not screws? I gotta spin that around and go between these two washers and hook to that thing right there. I have no idea if you can see that. Struck. Okay, that was a whole lot of angry words. But essentially, I had to get a washer above, a washer below, and as these two carbs are sliding together, that piece in there, this is a synchronization screw so that both blades go together. Pain in the butt. Also was noticing that this one on this side and this one on this side, somebody has beat on them. I hope they work. It's just kind of being one of those days. I was just tightening these bolts and broke my screwdriver, and it's the only one I have that'll hold these bits that came with the kit, so yeah, just one of those days. So I guess I'll try and find a screwdriver somewhere because this cheap thing just broke. It appears I got lucky. I did find some old rusty piece of junk in the other room. So the reason a lot of these screws are messed up is because of using a regular Phillips, not Japanese industrial standard screwdriver. So I really don't want to mess up the screws that I just put in. Now, I don't know how impossible it's going to be, but somehow I gotta hook this on that janky little spring inside there and get it to hook right here. So I guess maybe 2 pair of needle nose. I don't know. I know this is wrong. It's just the only thing I have. It's just everything about this was wrong. Okay, this is probably not even possible to look at, but I am going to try because everything else has been working out so terrible on this project. Why not? If I can get that to go in there. Oh! It fell in and hooked. So then I have to get it to go. Oh, how come that's so easy? That wasn't even fair. Everything else has been such a struggle. Well, thank you. I do believe I'm ready to stick them back in the bike and hope that everything works good. I did replace that screw with an old one because it was stripped out. So, yay, back in the bike. Oh, yeah, maybe. I also have, you see right there, like 2 little vacuum ports that I don't know why they're there, so I'm going to put hoses on them just in case they leak. Okay, so the instructions doesn't really tell me anything about that, but I believe by looking at where the channels go, those are just bowl vents. So I put a hose across them, but it's a really loose fitting hose, so it can still vent, but yet it's not going to like get dirt in it. So I got to hook my cables back up, hook all my hoses back up. Kind of want to put a filter in that because of all the junk that was in here, but I don't know if I have one, so I'll go digging. Okay, well, turns out I didn't have one. It's the next day. I had to wait for the parts store to open to go buy one because I wake up earlier than the parts store. But I watched a video this morning about somebody else who was tearing apart a motorcycle. They actually siliconed the cylinder on, the head gasket on, everything was silicone and JB Weld. So I'm in a much better mood today. So the little bit of silicone in the carburetor is not that big a deal now. So back to what we were doing. Let's put this back together. Okay, I got my cables hooked up. Got them sitting in the hole. I need to change these O-rings right here, and they're just crumbling. So I imagine I probably had some pretty good vacuum leak going on too. But they come in the carb kit. Isn't that nice? Kind of fit in little like pinch clamp areas, which cool design, Honda. Then you don't drop them while you're trying to do this. So this also had gobs of silicone in it for some reason. I don't know. Well, them GoPros sure like their batteries. They go through them quick. So I'm leaving all these clamps loose. Get all these bolts, both sides. All hooked in. Then I'll tighten all 4 clamps. We'll put our vacuum gauges on here and see what we get for synchro. Okay, we're bolted back in. Here's my crazy little setup. Main vacuum that goes to the petcock is shut off. I have 2, can we even see those? There we go. I have 2 separate vacuum gauges hooked to each intake manifold, and a tiny little fuel jug filling up the carburetors. I gotta go get the keys. They're not in my pocket. So I've been looking all over for the keys. The keys are required to remove the seat from the motorcycle. Whoops. Anyway, back to my crazy little setup with my lawnmower gas can and vacuum gauges. It appears got a little leakage out of the right side now that's set here for a while. This hose is dripping and is still dripping. That's probably why somebody had a screw in there, because the bowl drain screw is not sealing. Awesome. The overflows aren't leaking, but apparently this bowl is not sealing. So let's find a cork for that so we can test this. For the sake of irony, let's put a bowl drain shutoff screw in the end of the bowl drain hose. No more leak. Carburetor on. That's never a good time. We're gonna let this warm up the temp. Hopefully those quit jumping all over like hell. Find out in a minute, I guess. I have an idea why my vacuum's jumping all over the place. And I'll bet it has something to do with, I never tightened up all these clamps. So I probably have extreme vacuum leaks going on. I don't know if y'all can see them gauges or not, but if you hold an even throttle, V-twin is doing that. I don't know. Okay. I think I found the good spot there. About as equal as they're gonna get with an old motorcycle. Fun part here is way down in there is where the nut and screw is to synchronize these two. But about as close as I can get it. Fires right up. Idling at 1,000. Set this camera right here in the shade. I'll go down the street and back. We got her fixed. Runs like a champ. Barring any complications, I'd say that 4 videos in, we got her back on the road again. I'll ride this thing anywhere. Thanks for watching Pop Shop. Who knows what we'll be fixing next. Later.